So, box from Hattons. I'd sort of filled up my trunk order facility on their site and reached the free postage limit, so thought I'd better get some on the way. So, maybe they've listened to me and they've actually put the invoice at the top instead of at the bottom. Okay, so the first batch, bit odd. Some of the cheaper end stuff they just shove in a jiffy bag, like this. £7 for an MGR. It's probably the same batch that got split up that I previously bought from them. This little one, an old engineering operating hopper, £3. But the other one, also £7. Everything's there that should be. I guess put in a nice little box. I don't know. I think this was about £7.75 or something. I think this was one I won on the auction site. It is mint condition. Normally they come, this must have been used because these the little ladder assemblies come loose in the box, because I've got some that are literally as new that haven't had that done. Another £4 pack of KD fittings. And this was a bit unusual. I think it was £4 or £5. It's Hong Kong made. Best Choose are a bit like Tiny model manufacturers. They're 1/76 scale, but as you can see, it's sort of like a 17-20 ton tipper truck with a grab clamshell bucket, and quite conveniently, not completely unlike the facelift Dodge 50 truck that British Rail used to have. So yes, I shall be looking for some red British Rail logos to shove on this and turn it into a British Rail wagon. Seems there's a severe lack of 80s 90s type trucks that they use, like the Lagan Roadrunner and such like. So that's the first batch. Well, the next little batch, after I got shafted by an eBay seller for not supplying me with one I purchased, and then not supplying the replacement they promised, I bought this one from Hattons. It was £10 as I've written on there. Not as cheap as I have seen them before, but prices seem to be determined by whoever's got the job that day, I think. For example, we all know these are making silly money on eBay, £20 plus. I got this for £9, and it's a boxed version, not a loose one. Looks pretty clean and tidy. Another strange one of theirs. Yes, it's a Lima PTA, but for some reason they placed it as a kit built, even though they described it as Lima, so I thought maybe they've used kit bogies on a Lima body, but no, it just seems to have been rather generously painted. Someone's gone to the trouble of putting all the decals back on when they were already on it, so why they painted it grey I do not know. So it might end up in a dip tank and strip back to whatever it was. It looks like it was a white one, so it would have been a yeoman one. Sounds like it's got an additional weight in here. This is all glued in as well. Normally you can peel them apart, break the glue bond, but that one seems to be fairly solid, so it might be let sleeping dogs lie, you never know. But that was £6 I think, because it was down as a kit built, yet they're asking £11 for the Lima ones. Yeoman, this little hopper was £8 and 5 pennies, because it was an auction one. Coleman's Mustard, that was straight off their pre-owned at £8, which I thought was a little bit on the dear side. Admittedly, it is boxed. Obviously Coleman's used to be a Norfolk brand in Norwich, but not since the new owners decided to purchase their ingredients from elsewhere. So that was another company that's gone out of the city. But yeah, we thought we'd get that one as a local connection. I'll keep an eye out because I might want another couple more for the old 1930s scenes. And as we start going for larger items, unfortunately the price goes up as well. A VGA van, £15. It is a Transrail one, which is a little bit post my era. But previously I've just removed that with a fiberglass pen, the Transrail logo. But this time I might just put some graffiti on there and weather it up. But that was £15, and they're starting to sell for £20 on eBay. So they're getting a dear old wagon to buy. Another, not very cheap, but this is a sort of bizarre one. Hattons at the minute have got a load of these second hand. Obviously they filtered through a couple of these onto the auction site. Now, as you see, I previously bought a couple from Rails of Sheffield, brand new, £32. This one cost me in their auction £26.50, and this one was £28.99. Now the rest of these second-hand ones they've listed on their pre-owned site for £39, which is more than they're selling the brand new release. Very bizarre how they come to their pricing. The BOC Hellion tankers that are £45, they've got a couple of those pre-owned. They're asking £75 and £65 for. Yeah, this is another one, another old Lima parcels coach. I did pick a couple of these up second hand recently, so this will sort of go add to the rake of parcel ones. I can't seem to get any raw mail ones at the minute. They're going for silly money. This one cost me £7. You'd pay more than that for the bogies. It has been repainted, I think. The roof has anyway, just to grubby it up, and the inside windows have been mucked up just to so you can't see through. But that was a little cheap and cheerful one. And at £7, it's half the price of some of the starting bids on eBay for the same thing. Again, these are something else that seems to be either fetching a premium, perceived sought after, when you know there's no shortage of them about. You don't. Well, in at £11 and £12 each, a couple of Network Southeast coaches, both first class. Got the different running numbers on. One's from a set. Probably got the same numbers in the other lot, but I needed a few more. We sort of, you know, if they're the right price, I'll buy them. If I end up with too many, then I'll sell what I don't need, sort of thing. But because I've got BR blue ones and Network Southeast ones, so there was a couple of those I purchased. Same thing, I think the only difference is there's a buff broken off on one of these, which again is an easy repair. They're fairly clean and tidy. Now I have got another coach which needs some bits, and I bought this one, which is the old Blood and Custard, and got the earlier frame on it, but it's got the later bogies which I can use. And I've also, you know, this was £8 and it's exactly the same coach as I just showed you. It's £12. The only difference is the liveries, but if you look carefully, someone has put a load of Dapol figures inside. So I will be removing this interior and using it to populate one of my own coaches. So that was a crafty little buy. Well, this one I nearly didn't get. I just sort of picked the guy at the post. I think, well, you know, £12 it was, which is more than the other parcels coach. Does have the old Commonwealth bogies on, I think they are. I don't know, they look like they might be mainline ones. They've obviously had been screwed in, because that's not a conventional fitting, and it's not a Lima coupling. That's a mainline coupling, so it could be someone's made that up to keep it running. And the other thing was Stewart's truck. Look, and he's broke his mirror. Bit dark there. Yeah, so we have a Oxford die-cast raw mail. They sent me an email that they'd got one in and were putting it on their auction site, which I thought, oh dear, it might go silly money. But it is minus a broken mirror, and that one looks to have received some damage as well. I think there is someone selling 3D printed ones on eBay, but I don't know what the cost is. But these are still, well, any of the trucks sort of make £10 plus, other than the Stobart ones, because they're common as muck. But I managed to pick this up in the auction. I was expecting to sort of go a little bit more money to get it, but I got it for £7.51. So that was a bit of a bargain, even though it has got broken mirrors. But obviously, depending on where we sight it, how we sight it, or we could even do that as a little, you know, he's took the corner a bit tight shunting somewhere and has ripped his mirror off. Oh dear. Explain that to the transport manager when he gets back. Yeah. No air hoses either. And the last thing was this, which was about 70 quid. It is the nicely detailed B17 Sandringham, which is local to me. It was named because obviously it went to the Sandringham, dropped the Queen off at Wilverton when the station was there, the line from Kings Lynn to Hunstanton, which I used to live right alongside, although it was ripped up by the time I was about 4, I think, 4 or 5, maybe a little bit older. So that was sort of a bit of a personal connection as to why I wanted it. I've looked at them on eBay. Some have made a lot less money, and some have, you know, gone for a lot more. I don't know whether it's DC fitted. They never tried it, never ran, it said in the description, which I don't know is a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know whether it's got that little can motor in it that's terrible. But obviously if they didn't describe it, if it doesn't work, it don't work. But it doesn't look to have had a lot of use, if any. There's minimal marking on there. On the wheels you can see there's a little bit, if you can just see under the glare of the plastic. I don't want to get it out yet because I'm obviously one-handed at the minute. But yeah, all the detail pack's still taped in there, it's not been touched. So I don't know whether it's been chipped, I suspect not. So we'll have to put her on the track, try it on DC, and see what happens.